Welcome to the Deep Dive from Tech Talk Central. Today we're getting into a big one, the ultimate pocket camera battle.
We are. We've got two heavy hitters promising pro-level 4K video that, well, fits in your pocket. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and the Insta360 Go 3S.
Right, but they come at it from completely different angles, don't they?
Totally different philosophies. That's what makes this interesting.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Our mission today is really to help you figure out which of these tools actually fits your creative style best. We're looking past just the specs.
Exactly. It's about the trade-offs, right? What are you gaining? What are you giving up with each one? Is it image quality first, or maybe ultimate portability and unique angles?
That's the core question we're tackling. We're going to synthesize the tech specs, sure, but also the real-world use, maybe the quirks, to give you a clear idea of who should buy which.
And probably the best place to start is the thing that impacts the picture the most, the sensor.
Okay, yeah. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 really comes out swinging here. It's got that 1-inch CMOS sensor. Now, for anyone used to typical action cams, that's huge.
It really is. That sensor size is like the #1 thing for pure image quality, especially in tricky light. Think of it as just catching way more light, more detail.
So if you're shooting, say, sunsets or maybe dimly lit streets.
Yeah, the Pocket 3 is just going to handle that much more gracefully. You'll see less noise, cleaner shadows, just a more, well, cinematic look straight out of camera.
And it's not just the sensor size. It backs it up with some serious video specs, too. 4K at 120 frames per second. That's impressive for slow-mo.
Really smooth slow motion. Plus, you've got options like D-Log-M and, importantly, 10-bit color depth.
Okay, let's pause there. 10-bit color. For the average person watching, maybe even someone getting serious about video, does that matter? Or is it just jargon?
No, it genuinely matters, especially if you plan to edit your footage seriously. 10-bit gives you vastly more color information to work with, over 1 billion shades versus millions.
And the practical benefit?
Avoiding banding. You know when you film a clear sky, and instead of a smooth gradient, you see those ugly steps or lines of color?
Ugh, yes.
10-bit color pretty much eliminates that. It means your footage holds up much better when you push the colors around in editing what we call color grading. It's a key part of that cinematic look.
Right, so if you're really focused on image fidelity, post-production flexibility, the Pocket 3 is making a strong case from the get-go.
Definitely. Now, the Insta360 Go 3S, it also shoots 4K now, which is a big step up for its size.
A huge step up.
But it knows it can't quite compete on sensor size alone, so its focus is, well, different. It's about perspective.
How so?
It has this new wide-angle lens, and they're calling the field of view Mega View. Insta360 is using software smarts here to give you that ultra-wide, immersive look, but with less of the extreme fisheye distortion you sometimes get.
Ah, okay, so less about pure pixel quality, more about capturing that super wide, almost impossible perspective cleanly.
Exactly. DJI is chasing texture and light quality. Insta360 is chasing width and immersion.
Which leads us perfectly into the next big difference. Form factor. I mean, these things look completely different.
Couldn't be more different. The Insta360 Go 3S is, well, it's tiny, like actually thumb-sized, and it weighs practically nothing, about 39 grams or 1.4 ounces.
Wow.
Yeah, it's built for stealth, for hand-free POV shots. It uses magnets, so you can just, clip it or stick it almost anywhere. Your shirt, a hat, a pet.
A pet. Okay, we'll come back to that. But the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, while still definitely compact, it's a different shape entirely.
Right, it's built around its main feature. That mechanical gimbal on top, it's more like a small stick, weighs about 6.3 ounces. You hold it or you mount it carefully. It's not really designed to be stuck places randomly.
And this difference really dictates how you vlog with them, especially the screen situation.
For sure, the DJI is straightforward. It has a nice, large 2-inch touchscreen right on the handle, and it rotates. So you flip it for vertical, keep it horizontal, frame yourself easily. It's all integrated.
Simple. But the Go 3S, the camera itself is too small for a screen.
Correct. So it relies on this separate unit called the Action Pod. The little camera clips into it.
And the Action Pod has the screen.
Yep, a big 2.2-inch flip-up screen. And this is key. The Action Pod acts as a remote control and a live preview monitor.
Ah, so you could mount the tiny camera somewhere awkward.
Yeah.
Like really high up, or on a bike frame.
Exactly. On a drone, maybe. And you stand back, holding the Action Pod, framing the shot, and controlling everything remotely. It enables angles the Pocket 3 just physically can't get.
That's a clever workaround.
Oh.
But it does mean you're dealing with two pieces sometimes.
You are. It's a different workflow. More flexible in some ways, maybe slightly more fiddly in others.
We should also mention the price difference here, because it's significant. The Pocket 3 is generally around $519 to start.
Whereas the Geo 3S comes in at $399. That's quite a bit cheaper. Makes it more accessible, maybe for people just starting out or wanting those unique shots without the bigger investment.
Good point. What about battery life? Always a concern with small cameras.
The Pocket 3 seems to have a slight edge on its own DJI claims, up to 166 minutes. The Geo 3S system, so the camera plus the action pod, gives you about 140 minutes.
Okay, comparable enough for most uses.
But the action pod can charge the little Geo 3S camera while it's docked, even while you're shooting. That's pretty useful.
Ah, that is handy. Now, you mentioned audio earlier with the Pocket 3. It connects directly to DJI mics.
Yes, this is actually a pretty big deal for more professional setups.
Yeah.
It can connect directly to two DJI Mic 2 transmitters wirelessly.
Without needing a separate receiver unit plugged into the camera.
Exactly. The Pocket 3 is the receiver, so you just turn on the camera, turn on your two lapel mics, and bam, high-quality stereo audio for an interview or a two-person vlog. No extra boxes, no messy cables. It simplifies things massively.
Really slick. Huge workflow advantage if you do interviews or need clean dual audio.
Definitely. Okay, so let's move on to stabilization. This is probably the technical heart of the difference.
Right. DJI is all in on hardware here. It's built around that 3-axis mechanical gimbal. Smoothness is pretty much guaranteed.
It is. That physical gimbal provides incredibly stable footage. It reacts instantly. It's great for smooth pans, tilts, following action, even if you're walking quickly or, as DJI says, chasing pets.
But it looks kind of fragile. Like, drop it once and it's game over.
That's the trade-off, absolutely. It has delicate moving parts. You need to treat the Pocket 3 with a bit more care. It's a precision tool, not really a rough-and-tumble action camera you throw in a bag without thinking.
Okay, so what's the Insta360 approach? No gimbal there.
Nope. Insta360 relies on their software stabilization called flow state. It's digital stabilization, using algorithms to smooth out the bumps and shakes after the footage is captured.
And how good is that compared to the mechanical gimbal?
Flow state is really, really good. It's arguably the best digital stabilization out there, and the big advantage is durability, no moving parts to break. Makes the Geo 3S much tougher.
But maybe not quite as perfectly smooth in all situations. Yeah. Any drawbacks?
In really extreme, shaky situations, sometimes digital stabilization might introduce tiny visual wobbles or artifacts, or it might need to crop into the image slightly more than a gimbal would. But for most uses, it's excellent.
Gotcha. So the Pocket 3 needs careful handling, but DJI compensates with some smart features, especially tracking, right? Active Track 6.0.
Yeah, Active Track is fantastic, especially because you might often set the Pocket 3 down on a tripod and move around in front of it.
Like for a solo vlog or a presentation piece.
Exactly. It has face auto detect, so it finds your face, and dynamic framing keeps you centered smoothly, even if you move side to side or closer, further away. It's like having a little robotic camera operator. It works remarkably well.
Okay, that's a solid feature for solo creators, but the Geo 3S counters with that mount anywhere vibe in sheer toughness.
Totally. The Geo 3S camera unit itself is IPX8 waterproof. Meaning it can handle submersion. And if you put it in the optional dive case, Insta360 says it can go down to 60 meters, which is almost 200 feet.
Wow, okay. So, proper underwater shooting. The Pocket 3 can't do that without a bulky third-party case, I assume.
Correct. The Geo 3S is just designed for more adventurous, potentially wetter environments. The Action Pod itself is only splash-resistant, IPX4 though. Keep that in mind.
Right. And the Geo 3S leans into unique features too, doesn't it? You mentioned pet POV.
Yeah, because it's so small and light and magnetic, you can genuinely get perspectives you just couldn't otherwise. Stick it on your cat's collar, why not? Plus, things like gesture control and voice control if you've mounted it somewhere out of reach.
And AI editing.
Yeah, Insta360's app has AI features that can automatically find the highlights in your clips and cut together a quick edit for social media. It's aimed at speed and convenience.
And the real kicker, maybe for peace of mind, Apple Find My.
That is genuinely brilliant. Because this camera is so small, it's potentially easy to lose, especially if you mount it somewhere precarious like on a drone or during action sports. Being able to locate it using the Find My network is huge.
It really shows they understand how people might use and potentially lose such a tiny camera.
Absolutely. It speaks volumes about its intended use cases compared to the Pocket 3, which focuses more on controlled cinematic moves like motion lapse or spin shot.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Sensors, stabilization, form factor, features. Let's try and synthesize this. If someone's standing there with, say, 400 or 500 bucks, how do they make the final call?
I think it boils down to prioritizing that core trade-off we identified early on. If your absolute priority is the best possible image quality, especially in low light,
Right.
if you want that superior color science for editing, the integrated pro audio solution, and that guaranteed smoothness from hardware stabilization, and you're okay treating it carefully.
And the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is probably your winner. It's a mini cinematic tool.
Precisely. You're prioritizing the look, the light, the smooth motion above all else. But if you need something incredibly small and light, something tough enough to handle more action, maybe even go underwater.
If you want that magnetic mounting flexibility for crazy unique angles, those POVs no one else can get.
And maybe you want to save a bit of money, then the Insta360 Go 3S is the clear choice. You're choosing versatility, ruggedness, and unique perspectives, maybe accepting a slight compromise on absolute image fidelity compared to the 1-inch sensor.
It's really about how you want to shoot and what you want to capture.
Exactly. And even their bundles kind of reflect this, don't they?
Yeah, good point. The DJI Creator Combo often includes those Mic 2 transmitters, focusing on audio quality.
Right, professional inputs. While the Insta360 bundles tend to include various mounts, the magnet pendant, the easy clip, the pivot stand, tools for adventure, and unique placement.
Totally different priorities reflected right there in the box.
So it's a fascinating comparison. Two excellent cameras, but serving quite different masters.
It really is. And it leaves us with a final thought, maybe for you, the listener, to chew on. We know the Pocket 3 generally produces a better image from a technical standpoint, right? Higher fidelity.
Generally, yes, thanks to that sensor and optics.
But if the Go 3S, because of its size and mounting, can capture a perspective, an angle, an action shot that is literally impossible to get with the Pocket 3, does the Pocket 3's superior sensor even matter in that context?
That's a great question. Sometimes the novelty or the intimacy of the perspective is the content, more so than the pixel-level quality.
Exactly. Is the shot you can get more important than the technical perfection of the shot? Something to think about before you click buy.
A very provocative thought to end on.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into what really is the ultimate pocket camera battle right now. We hope this breakdown helps you choose the right tiny titan for your needs.
And hey, to find the latest prices and maybe some deals on either of these cameras, be sure to check out the links we've put in the description below.
Please do. And if you found this deep dive helpful, consider subscribing to our channel, Tech Talk Central. We do breakdowns like this all the time. Thanks for listening.